Simon, how many more times are you going to read that, Tim?
Just that it seems incredible. It says apply it 2 to 3 millimeters thick. And that means it's 0.4 square meters for a litre of stripper.
Okay, for many of us out there, we don't have a clue what you're talking about. Can you explain that?
Well, I can actually. 0.4 square meters is from there up. That there is as far as a litre of a typical gel stripper will go, which is not very much. And you need 8 times that to do the door both sides. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 times 2 is 8 litres for both sides of that door. It sounds crazy, but that's what it is. Maths is maths.
So how much Coopers would you use then on that door?
Let me get rid of this first. I'm burning a hole in my hand. Door both sides would use about 1.5 litres. That is for the whole door both sides.
Is that with every door?
Some doors are more, some doors are less. Depends on the amount of paint that's on the door or varnish, that sort of thing. But it's still just a fraction of your brush-on gels. And that is actually why Coopers actually cost you less to use. When you look at the tin price to start with, you wouldn't think so, but it goes so much further that it just ends up costing you way less.
Let's look at some other examples.
Well, I have a few here for you. This window here, that's the bungalow, and some fan lights on top. And that piece that I stripped through here, that's used about 3/4 of a litre of stripper, and so that's pretty good going. So there'd be 1.5 litres for the whole interior face of it.
What about if it was without those extra windows at the top?
Well, if you have a look at fan lights on top, then that piece from sort of there down would be about 1/2 litre.
And if it was varnish?
Which is sort of the size of this bottle. And varnish always is less, because it's just less stuff to get through. This other door here, this is a hollow core plywood door. To do both sides of that door, you'd be probably a litre or a little less than a litre to do both sides of that. So
okay.
This small little cabinet here, the blue cabinet, that's a real cracker. This one is oak and had no varnish on, so the paint soaked really deep into the grain. I used about 1/4 for the piece I did, so 1/2 litre for the whole thing. The chair is it's a Jacobean style chair here, and the Jacobean is this barley twist spiral piece through here. And so that was stained with varnish. A chair like that, usually you'll use about 1/3 of a litre, so you get about 3 chairs like that done per litre. Next to it is the real classic bentwood chair, and this one didn't really have a lot of varnish left. There's a bit on these ends here, on those railings there, but the seat was pretty much worn all off. So about 1/4 of a litre of stripper would get that chair done. Again, just allow more. The more varnish or paint you got on, the more product you're going to use.
I've seen some with super thick layers of paint on these chairs.
Exactly, and it's just, we're not saying one puff of stripper is going to magically go through 30 coats of paint. We do know there is no paint it won't go through, but the thicker the paint, the more product you will use, but nothing like a gel. So, come over and have a look at our weatherboard. So this is a square metre sample that we stripped out, and this one is a really thick collection of paints. On top, the green stuff is water-based. That's the acrylic or emulsion, depending on where you live. And then underneath that, there was oil-based enamel. And then underneath that, there was truckfuls of lead. Real heaps and heaps of lead. And so that square metre used just over 1 litre of stripper. Most houses aren't that thick, but if yours is, then that's what it's going to be. But if you're using 1 litre of Coopers to do these weatherboards, then you can just imagine how much gel you're going to use. So.
And our finale, guys, this beauty here to show you. What have we got?
Well, this is a 1966 Daimler V8, absolute classic. And we stripped this one halfway down the centre to become a display car for us. And it used about 4 litres for the half we did. So that's about 8 litres for the whole outer skin of the car.